Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a pair of dunks that caught my eye on GOAT. Like so many other pairs, I think these dropped overseas before coming to the US. I didn't realize it, but shortly after I ordered my pair, they ended up dropping on the Nike app. I was completely unaware they were dropping, but these did just drop this past week. My pair actually showed up the day after these dropped on the Nike app here in the US. But these are referred to as the Cacao Wow Dunks, and we'll get into the name and just some other features of the shoes here in a minute. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and get into these Cacao Wow Dunk Lows. Alright, so since I started going, all in with this channel, I've really been keeping my eye on shoes to come. So I look at the calendar on GOAT for upcoming releases. I always look at StockX and just browse the internet for, current sneakers and things that are coming to the US. This pair really caught my eye, and I put an offer up of $110 and it ended up getting accepted, which really surprised me. But again, the sneaker game isn't what it was last year. Things have really slowed down. These ended up being $120 for retail price here in the US. I got them for $110 plus fees on GOAT, and all in I had around, I think, $129. But really that would have been really close to what I would have paid had I gotten them for retail here. So I'm good with that price. I hope pricing stays like that. I don't mind resale being at an all-time low, because I buy a bunch of sneakers, that I can't hit for retail. So I don't mind everything being affordable. I wish everybody could wear the heat all the time, but that's a whole other topic. We got a standard Nike box, nothing to get into there. One thing that I did notice is that it's got like no 0 to 3, like a little baby emblem. And I guess basically that's because there's a choking hazard with the beads that are on the shoelaces. And I'll show you that here in a minute. This does have a tag that has the UK size. As I stated before, these came from overseas, but it says rough green, pilgrim, and matte olive for the colors. It's a UK 9, which is my size, a US 10. The tag reads Nike Dunk Low NH, and the colors on this tag are Cacao Wow, Marina, and rough green. Yeah, rough green. But like I said, retail here in the US was $120. I got these for $110 plus fees, which came out to about $130 all in. And without further delay, here they are, the Cacao Wow Nike Dunk Low. And I think I saw an article about these before I even saw them on GOAT. And I remember thinking that they're really interesting. I always say that I love a mix of texture and a mix of materials. And on this shoe, you definitely get that. One thing that really caught my eye as well, along with the mix of materials, was just all this nice, unique detail. The stitching that we have on the leather panels. Like in the back there, you see the green stitching on the brown leather. And that kind of gives me the same vibes as like the Bodega Dunks. And I love the Bodega Dunks. Whenever they first dropped, people were going crazy for them and everything. And I ended up paying resale for a pair, and I definitely overpaid for them. But then prices got really, really reasonable. But I wear those Dunks a good bit. I took them off ice just last year around Thanksgiving. But this stitching and that brown leather, it definitely reminds me of some of that detail that we have on the Bodega Dunks. And I really like that. I read on the article and in several different places, these of course are called the Cacao Wow. The cacao plant is where we get cocoa from, which is what chocolate is made from. And I guess that plant grows mostly in places like Colombia and Peru. They need a really specific environment, but they basically grow best in a jungle type or rainforest type environment. The inspiration for these shoes was drawn from colors and textures of that jungle environment where the cacao plant grows. And I think that's pretty neat. It definitely gives you an earthy vibe, you know, all these browns and greens and tans mixed in with it. And then even that blue hit for the laces and the fuzzy suede. And I just think all these earth tones go really well together. I like how unique these dunks are. They don't look like all my other dunks. And I really like the way they came out. I think for right now, this pair is definitely a sleeper. They're very affordable right now on the resale market, but I wouldn't be surprised if prices went up. But then again, maybe they'll stay affordable because, I mean, the game just isn't what it was, you know? Getting into the actual review, for the outsole, we got a standard dunk tread pattern in this nice olive green color, Nike branding at the midfoot, pivot point there in the front. And you've all seen a dunk tread pattern before. But then coming up to the midsole, you can see that this olive green meets, it's not quite a sail, it's almost got more of like a grayish khaki tone to it, but it's definitely not bright white, and the stitching matches that color. It's like a khaki cream color, but I like that color. I think it goes with the rest of the shoe really well. And like I said, the stitching matches that. But then straight up from that, here on the mudguard, we get this nice hunter green leather. It's definitely a synthetic material, but it's got some nice texture on it. And you can see this nice bright green contrasting stitching. And I love that accent. I just think that looks really, really nice on there. But then if we come back, we see more of that same type of leather, only in a different color. This is kind of the color of a football, or like a baseball glove, but again, it's got nice texture, and that stitching adds a real nice accent to it. And I really like the way it came out. Feels synthetic, but it looks really, really nice. On the entire base of this upper, we've got a really nice mesh. It feels like it's really breathable, and it reminds me of mesh that we would find on like New Balances, or like, you know, a quality shoe like that. It's soft, it's breathable, and I really like the colors of it. On the toe box, it's kind of like a chocolate brown, but then on the side panels, it's more khaki in color, more of a tannish hue. And then on the back of the shoe, it's this nice dark green. And I guess this is more of like a canvas material back here. But it looks really nice. Then on the eye stays, you'll see that we have some fuzzy suede. And that's kind of like a tannish green color. But we have that on both sides of the eye stays, and it feels very nice. And then we also have a fuzzy suede on the swooshes and on this heel tab. And I love that shade of blue. I guess that's the Marina, but I really like the way that pops on these shoes. Then matching those swooshes, we have these SB style laces. They're nice and thick. They're more of like the oval shape as opposed to the standard flat dunk laces that we're accustomed to. And I really like the way that looks. On the left shoe, they gave us these 4 beads. And I'm not really sure what that signifies, but I mean, it's an okay accent. If I'm being honest though, I'll probably take those off before I would wear them. This shoe, the right shoe didn't have them on there, so I'm not sure why they put them on the left shoe. For the tongue, it's a green color that kind of matches the canvas here on the back, and I guess it does have a canvas feel, but it's nice and thick. And then at the top, it's got a fuzzy suede tag that matches the eye stays, and in that nice marina blue, it's got some Nike branding. But let me know what you think of these.